All right, so let's get clear on what I mean by early retirement. So it's also known as financial freedom or financial independence. Early retirement means you no longer have to work a day job anymore in order to pay your bills. But I want to get a little deeper. You see, there are really like two types of financial independence. Level 1 means you can pay all of your bills with passive or mostly passive income, like dividends from stocks or cash flow from rental properties or regular profit from a business that you don't need to work at full time. So for me, I achieved that level 1 financial freedom at 27 years old, but it wasn't level 2. Level 2 means you can pay all your bills, but you can also do super extravagant things that anything your heart desires. You can buy a Tesla, you can sail the coast of Africa, you can, buy a polar bear. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to focus on level 1. But I'll leave you with the secret to achieving level 2 at the end of the video. All right, so how did I achieve that goal of financial independence at the age of 27? For me, it was simple. At 21, I started buying cheap rental properties. Not hundreds of properties, but a duplex here, a single family house there. And usually I'd fix it up a little bit, I'd rent it out, I'd make a few $100 in profit after all the bills have been paid. And it wasn't a ton of money at first, but the cool thing about rentals is that they grow over time. Every rental unit I bought was like a little tiny oil well, pumping out oil from the ground. $100 from this one, $300 from this one, $200 from this one. You see, every rental property I owned rented for a certain amount each month, and then there were also expenses. But when the income is greater than the expenses, that's called cash flow. For example, this property. Currently, it is 4 units and each unit rents for around $700 a month. That's $2,800 total. Now, I gotta pay the mortgage payment, the taxes, the insurance, the lawn care. We gotta fix stuff when it breaks. And I don't wanna deal with tenant phone calls, so I hired a property manager to deal with all that. Now, all in all, these expenses are like $1,800 a month on average. That means I'm keeping about $1,000 extra every month in my pocket I can spend on whatever I want. So when you buy awesome home run deals like this, it doesn't take long to make more from rentals than from your job. Now back to my story. Before I knew it, I was making about $3,000 per month from cash flow. And that was level 1 financial freedom for me. And this leads me to point number 2. If you want to retire early, you got to keep your expenses low. Look, if you need $3,000 to pay all your bills, or you need $30,000 to pay your bills, which is easier, right? $3,000. But here's what most people do. They get a job, they get a paycheck. They spend their entire paycheck every time they get it. Then eventually they get raises at that job or a new job that pays more. And guess what? They spend that too. So in college, they could live on $28 a month in favors from friends. But as a 30-year-old, some people can't live on 10 or 15 grand a month. Now, am I saying you need to live like a college kid to retire early? No, but honestly, it wouldn't hurt. It's the principle I'm trying to make clear to you. If you want to retire early, you got to find ways to keep your expenses low. Don't fall victim to what we call the income creep. Now that's where you keep spending more and more money the more and more money you make. That's a game that's impossible to win. So when I was 27, all of my bills came to about $3,000 a month, and I had bought enough cash flowing rental properties to pay me about $3,000 a month. Now if $3,000 isn't going to cut it for you, then shut off this video and go back to watching the same TV show you've been watching forever and the same crap job, because it's impossible. I'm just kidding, of course. You can still cut out all the unnecessary stuff from your life. Do what needs to be done if early retirement is really that important to you. Sell the expensive car and get rid of the car payment. Stop eating out entirely and use the extra income to pay off credit card debt. Or consider house hacking, where you buy like a duplex or a triplex, live in one of the units, use your rent from the other units to pay your bills. Now, maybe 3,000 isn't the exact number for you, but it shouldn't be 10,000 or 15,000 for level 1 financial freedom either. If so, you are a victim of the creep. Now, I retired at 27, quit the job I hated, sat on the couch for a few months, bored out of my mind, and realized that retirement wasn't about playing shuffleboard with grandma. It was about freeing up your 9 to 5 hours to spend working on stuff that matters to you. Look, no one achieved early retirement and then stayed doing nothing. And I wasn't satisfied with $3,000 a month either. That was just a start. That was the foundation. That was level 1. And you can do that early. I recommend looking into real estate because, I believe it's the single greatest wealth building tool on the planet, but only if you do it right. Now, there are a lot of ways to invest in real estate that'll actually just make you more less rich than when you started. Just like any hard thing, you got to learn. So get some books, listen to some podcasts, attend some webinars. I host a webinar every week over on BiggerPockets, biggerpockets.com/webinar. But listen, you can do it through real estate if you really want to. And I bet you could do it in less time than you think. In fact, if you want to see a really cool strategy for achieving level 1 financial freedom in just a few short years, go search YouTube for The Stack Bigger Pockets. It'll walk you through a concept that I call the stack, and it'll show you the power of exponential growth in real estate. Now, maybe real estate isn't the right approach. That's fine. There's businesses and there's stocks and there's other investments, but they only work if you work. So before we end this video on early retirement, let's talk about the secret to financial freedom level 2. And here it is. Once you've achieved level 1 financial freedom, your days are freed up to reach level 2. So here's a tangible example. Once I retired at 27, I didn't stay seated on the couch. I didn't play shuffleboard. I started spending more time doing things I loved, like real estate and some other projects like writing books and hosting the Bigger Pockets podcast, which has now become like the largest real estate podcast on the planet. So now I get to work on work that is meaningful, exciting, helpful to others, and profitable. I mean, I'm building a mobile home park empire right now because I love mobile home parks. Why do I get to work on that? Because I have level 1 financial freedom. And that's helping me achieve level 2 financial freedom. In other words, now I can kind of do what I want. Travel around the world, led by my curiosity, sleep in on a Thursday morning and then head to the gym, and sometimes work 16-hour days making videos, podcasting, buying real estate, and doing other work that I'm passionate about. I don't say this to brag. I say this to show you a simple truth that is as true for you as it was for me. And the late, great Jim Rohn said it best. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse.